Yeah, we're off. Episode 3, Marcus. Right, here we go. No planned as usual. I thought, well, we better kick it off with this because we just had the national elections. So, I'll tell you my view and then I'm going to ask you your view. Well, it's like this, innit? We got the uni party in, we got opposite. Well, opposite, same party, uni party, innit? All I can see is the same agenda, but a lot faster with this shower of shit we're going to have in. Globalist again, another one. Well, see how it goes. From there, thing what got me, I mentioned it when I went down to the polling station. Wow, Nazis, innit? Nazis, show your ID, it's going to come thick and fast now. Because Tony Blair's, he's giving it all to that Starmer, innit? So it'll be IDs for everything, digital ID for everything. It's a lot faster rate than we could ever imagine. Anyway, your views on the election, Marcus?
Well, I don't really have a view, really. I mean, at the end of the day, I never really vote anyway, so it don't really matter. I mean, that's just my view. Right. I mean, to me, like I said in the previous video, long-term policies, exactly the same. So it doesn't really matter who you get in.
Right. What about these couple of reformers what's got in?
Well,
Farage and them.
Yeah, well, I have to see how they go. I mean, same with independent people or whatever. But end of the day, you got two major parties, so end of the day, you have to wait and see. Basically,
is it two parties and one?
Well, you could argue it's both sides of the same coin.
Yeah. I
mean, when you look at the background and that. Public school and things of that nature, so I have to wait and see. I mean, it's just my view. I think the long-term policy is already set out, so it don't really matter who you get in. Yeah. Policies are going to be carried out.
Yeah. We're just going to wait to see how fast it's going to travel this time.
Yeah, well, it's like I say, there might be little tweaks, little differences between them, but end of the day, everything's sort of laid out for them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Keir Starmer's gone to certain summits or whatever. Whatever, but it doesn't matter who had got in. The point I'm saying is, whoever would have got in, they would have attended that summit. So what I'm saying is everything sort of the agenda's already set out for whoever's prime minister. So that's just my view.
Yeah, we'll have to wait on that one then, won't we?
Well, it doesn't really matter. All I'm saying is, doesn't matter who you got in, they would have still attended the same summit.
Yeah. Yeah, one of them would.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Obeying orders, isn't it?
Well, like I say, policy's already set out, so...
Yeah. They're not the people, are they? They're just the puppets, aren't they? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, but...
They stick up on front at TV screen for you. Repeating everything they're told to say, like...
Well, at the end of the day, like I said...
Not one of them genuine, isn't he?
Well, at the end of the day, politics has got to that, in my view anyway, it's got to such an extent that obviously you've got vested interests, whether they call them lobby groups or whatever, and they're going to try and influence whoever's they put in power in effect. So, end of the day, it don't really matter.
I don't know about try and influence, I think they do.
Oh yeah, they probably do. I mean, end of the day, there's obviously, like I say, there's it's all about the money really, end of the day.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's just my view.
Well, we'll see how it goes from here. All can do, innit? Wait and see.
Yeah.
But I expect it to be, whatever the agenda is, much faster, or try to be much faster under this regime, as its counterpart has just pushed it. But, anyway, we'll wait and see if there's going to be any pushback.
Yes.
Right, going on to a few, obviously, topical things. Because we've got the Euro footballs.
Yes.
In thingy. Final on Sunday.
Yes.
England versus Spain. Wow. Tough old team, that Spain.
Yes.
But I'm going to take my caps off to them, Yes, I've been one of them. I've been criticising them. They've not been playing really well. They've had mother luck on the side to get to the semis. But in all honesty, I watched the semi last night. Proper impressed. That's all I can say. They played the best they've ever played. And it paid off. Alright, you saw highlights, I take it.
Yeah, I'm not, football's not really my thing as such. I don't mind the World Cup or whatever. Seems to be a bit more entertaining, but and I'm not saying the Euros aren't as entertaining. They may very well be, but I generally just like the highlights. So I watched the highlights from what I saw the highlights.
So,
Seemed okay.
yeah, I thought it was good. Good performance. Got some young ones on it end, you know.
Yes.
Made the difference, didn't it? You know.
Well, that's the thing, you see, because my view of it is basically, I think for some unbeknown reason, there seems to be a lot of pressure on the English. It's just my view. A lot of pressure on the English team. I've mentioned this before. I've never known a team be so much under pressure to win a friendly. When they're playing friendlies, to me, friendlies are there so you can sort of develop the players. But for some unbeknown reason, they seem to be under that much pressure to win a friendly.
Yeah, to perform.
That it lacks them fetching the young up and coming players in order to develop them.
Yeah.
They tend to fetch on the tried and tested purely for the win. At the end of the day, it's just a friendly.
Yeah.
But anyway,
That's where they should be experimenting.
well, you'd think so.
Yeah.
You would actually think so. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And get all them experiments out of the way, you know.
Yeah, it's just
Like
that.
you say, get them young ones on for a friendly. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Where are they going to get the experience if it's not in a friendly?
Well, exactly. But I mean, yeah, I'm just going on past history where, when you look at it, they seem to be under a lot of pressure, or the manager seems to be under a lot of pressure to get results, even in friendlies. I mean, you can have a friendly with, say, Germany, for instance. And there's obviously 1966, blah 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 coming on, and it seems to be under pressure. You've got to win them. You've got to win them. Yeah, but it's a friendly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Wow,
the
I'll
point
give
is,
you on it.
if you keep playing friendlies
a friendly.
like competitions, you're not going to develop that.
No, come and see some new faces. Can you try 'em out?
So
Let us be judge yourselves, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And that's the only way you're going to get experience if you do that,
well, that's true. Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
Wow.
that is true. So what can I say?
Forget the too young. Get them on.
What can I say? They seem to be under pressure to perform, even like with friendlies. So, but like I say, it's not like football's not really my thing, so it's not really a thing I watch. But I'm really pleased they won, and I hope they win the
Right.
final.
Yeah, for Sunday, well, we'll wait and see Sunday.
Yeah,
I'll get everything ready.
Yeah. yeah,
Get rid of my chores and get settled down for the game.
yes,
Right, keep my fingers crossed. Lady luck stops with us.
yes,
If they play like they just played,
yes.
right, they'll give them a good game. Win or lose, they'll give them a damn good game. If they play like they played Holland.
Well, I'm not saying this, but
I
I
was
did
proper
actually.
impressed that first half.
I'm not saying this,
What?
but I'm not saying this, but I did think that England would win. Purely,
Nobody did
well, the reason I thought it is purely because they seem to have the discussion what we had. They seem to have a lot of luck,
Yeah.
and that luck seems to have been carried forward.
Yeah,
so,
carrying on, innit?
and it's purely on that basis.
Yeah, Lady Luck's been with 'em, hasn't he?
So
No denying it.
Yeah.
But like I say, you need looking at everything, don't you? So I won't knock it.
yeah, so
Right. It's where our turn for a bit of luck.
yeah,
But, no, I didn't think luck come into it last night. It was all determination.
no, it's like I say, it obviously didn't come into it, but I did fancy him beforehand to win, but it was purely based on luck.
Right. So anyway, before we move on, which I keep failing, and I'm doing it again, so if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel,
Yeah.
like, dislike, and share the channel. By sharing it, we get a bigger audience, as we proved that in episode 1. Right, this is episode 3.
Yes,
Right. So we've got that out of the way, the football. Well, we'll look forward to that on Sunday. Now we'll go on to another subject we've been on about. It's boxing.
yes,
So we've got this, haven't we? We've got Joshua and Dubois, right, fighting for the IBF belt, which I believe should never have been given up by USEC, but they took it off him basically. Because they wanted to have a world championship fight with AJ and Dubois. Well, I can to you, how can that be a world championship fight, right? when the belt Usyk had to give up. So you two now are fighting for that vacant belt. So if you win it, you say you become world champion. But you've just been beat by world champion, both years. So it's nonsense. Too many belts, isn't there?
Yeah, I think it's just the history of boxing, how it's actually developed. I mean, really, at the end of the day, there's only really one true champion. I mean, in boxing terms, that's obviously described under undisputed.
No.
But obviously, you'd have to look at the history of the belts. I'm presuming one of the belts come forward first.
Yeah.
Then, like anything else, you get a breakaway splinter. Obviously, not happy with the condition. Set another belt up, so on and so forth. And what you've ended up with is a multiple belt system.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
So you could have 4 world champions at a weight.
Well, yeah. It's
nonsense.
It is nonsense. Yeah, granted, it is nonsense. It's a bit like rugby. You win in rugby league. You sort of get that break off, don't you? And it's just how it's developed. But really, end of the day, there should only be one world champion.
Yeah.
But
each way.
yeah, I mean, the true world champion is obviously undisputed.
Oh yeah.
So it's just that, like I say, it's how the bodies have developed over time.
Yeah.
But what can I say? I agree. It should just be one. It should just be one undisputed, and that's it.
Yeah.
So it don't make sense because, like you say, both Dubois and Anthony Joshua are being beaten by Alexander Usyk.
Yeah.
So there shouldn't really be a champion. There shouldn't really be a heavyweight champion as such.
No.
He is the current heavyweight champion.
Yeah. That's it.
So that's it.
It's like the island. There can only be one.
That's correct.
Isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. You can't. When they're all split up, you can have 4 world champions. How can you be world champion if there's 4 of you?
Yeah, well, it's a bit like American wrestling as well. You get MFF or WF, whatever it is. You get different ones and the world champions. That same with certain mixed martial arts and UFCs and that,
Yeah.
combat sports. Different things, different world champions. I suppose broadly, looking at it broad, you could group them under the same thing. So yeah, it's just money. End of the day.
It's just a good place here for money-wise boxing, innit? With them Arabs. We're into all that shindig then. We take Yellow Sheikh, His Excellency.
Well, obviously they've got plenty of dollars, haven't they?
Wow. Loads, haven't they?
And they've obviously been restricted what they can spend that dollars on.
Yeah.
So obviously they've chosen sport.
Big time, aren't they? Hundreds of millions into boxing and football and
Oh yeah, besides
Formula One.
besides putting the dollars
golf.
back, besides putting the dollars back in US treasuries, the only option they've got really is just sport.
Yeah. Well, they're making inroads, aren't they? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We are getting the top fighting the top with the amount of money they're throwing up table.
Yeah.
So at least we're getting what we want, if you know what I mean. We're not there yet, far from it. Because everybody's been, until all this money arrived by them Saudi Arabians, right, wow, you could hardly get 2 top fighters together. Nobody could make a match. Nobody could afford it.
Yeah, that's true. The bodies won't be happy, obviously, because if they do buy the well-known promotion companies up, then obviously, and they've got the best fighters in the world, basically, and they just say, well, listen, we're gonna have this single belt, and there's no need to be part of the WBC, WBA, IBF, and whatever. Just go for this belt. Then obviously, them sanctioning bodies aren't going to be too happy. Because the crowd are going to be drawn where the best boxers are.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's a bit like Premiership and then the other divisions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like segregating. It's like the Premiership of boxing, segregating that from the rest of it.
Yeah.
The other ones, the other belts, will just be like, if you want to call it divisions, the divisions 1, 2, and 3, where the Premiership will be in Saudi Arabia with regards boxing anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Although they're fetching it to London. Right, in September, right. Same Riyadh season thing.
Might be an agreement they've got.
Fetching it outside their own country and then they're going to LA in America. Or they're obviously thinking about, worldwide.
I think, well, don't want to get into politics like, but I think there's a bit of politics involved.
Well, there's a lot, I believe. I think all business is done behind closed doors. And I don't mean just business in boxing. I mean business, world scale.
Well, I think with the sanctioning bodies or whatever, I suppose...
It's just the means to do it, carry it out.
Well, most sanctioning bodies are American, so, you know, if they're trying to say, well, listen, we're going to try and just have the one belt and there's no need for the other belts, I mean, that seems to be a political statement. I'm not saying it is, but it could sort of come across as that.
Yeah. Yeah. But, again, we'll have to wait and see on that, won't we?
Yeah.
Alright, so we'll move on from that. And we'll get to this sort of issue. Right. What you hear now, more and more, especially the last couple of years with all this cost of living crisis, prices going through the roof, right? And I don't see a lot of business taking place. Do you?
No, we're just like that sort of mentioned in the other video before. We're not a producing nation, we rely on the financial services, but one of the downfalls with that is, the thing with finance is it can inflate certain things. And as a consequence, the manufacturing just goes to pot. I mean, we're so dependent on exports. I mean, same with the pandemic and everything else. It just shows you how reliant we are on imports from other nations.
Yeah.
We're not a producing nation.
No. We stopped being that a long time ago.
No, I mean...
Deliberate, right?
Yeah, an important sector to me is the agricultural sector.
Oh, wow.
And if you're destroying that,
wow,
what can I say?
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? You're relying on imports. I mean, food to me, it's an essential.
Oh, definite.
You know, so...
Right, definite. Yeah, coming at us from that angle and all.
Yeah,
we've got that to put up with.
Yeah, well, finance is obviously...
The high cost of everything to start with.
Yeah, finance has been a problem, I think, for the UK. It's certainly been a problem for the US anyway.
Yeah.
And the problem is with finance, it's people have got that much of a debt burden that, the money they've got left for disposable income is very little.
Yeah.
And if you haven't got that much to spend, that can actually affect the manufacturing capacity of a nation. So it sends it into what you call a downward spiral.
Yeah.
So if you're not buying more, you don't need as much to produce, you don't need the jobs, everybody gets sacked and you start that circle, a downward circle.
Yeah.
So
that's what we're on, isn't it?
That's exactly what we're on.
It's same as that I heard yesterday, that June Slater. She was on about it. A few people mentioned it.
Yeah.
Of these landlords, you know. It'll be with the new law they're trying to shove through. Right. They won't need an excuse to kick you out. They'll just kick you out because when you've got like that contractor circle with these hotels and these houses, what they're doing, they're saying to these landlords, here's your money guaranteed up front.
Yeah.
3 times what you get on the open market rent.
Yes.
Right. Give keys, there's your money. We'll have it for as long as we want. Your money's safe. Every week it'll be in there.
Yeah.
And you're getting more than you could ever possibly get on the rented market.
Yes.
Right. We'll send builders in, knock it into shape so we can got 5 or 6 guys living in the same house, which is happening, and I know for myself. Down the road there, that's happened. Right. So you've got that. Any damage, all that will be paid for, right? Yes. They're saying circle, but what they mean is your taxpayers' money. That's what they mean.
Yes.
But that's who's got the government contract to do it.
Yes.
So we're going to go greedy landlords. But what do they expect from landlords, right? What do they expect? They've got to make money on the house because a lot of them took second mortgages out and hoping for that rent off that property will pay that mortgage, right? So they've all that to put with. If the money's guaranteed, you guarantee 3 times the amount you would normally get for it in a month.
Yeah. And
all damage paid, all building costs paid, everything paid for you.
Yes.
Right? You're gonna take it, aren't you?
Well, this is the problem with the credit.
You know.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen here? You're going to get families, and I mean families in a rented accommodation,
yes,
where the landlord won't need an excuse. You just kick him out and get Serco in, they'll knock it into shape for about 4 or 5 blokes, right? one bathroom house, they'll have 3 in. There are 3 bathrooms and 6 fellas in there, won't they? 2 in each room and all that. Right. So hang on a minute. You're going to end up kicking British families out to put these in.
Yeah.
That's what people are missing. It's not just the money, it's what they're doing. So what are you going to have then? You're going to have some English man and woman with some kids, right, out on the street. So you put half a dozen, asylum seekers in, if you can call them that. They're not asylum seekers, they're just whatever they are, economic migrants, whatever they are, foot soldiers, I don't know what they are. What do you think of that landlord shit?
Well, there's 2 things. Obviously, I see it slightly in a different term with regards to the finance aspect of it. But yeah, the infrastructure, from a population increase point of view, then obviously the infrastructure's not there. So, it's on the face of it, it's not fair. It's not fair at all.
No.
Yeah,
No.
I can see your point, yeah.
Yeah,
But it's quite common for that. I mean, end of the day...
Yeah, it's been happening all the time.
Yeah, end of the day, if you've not got the infrastructure in place and you increase the population, it's not there for it.
No.
Then obviously there's going to be a shortage, a national shortage.
Yeah.
But I just think with the credit bubbles and everything else, that's the system we tend to use the US system, the UK. I think you see what people don't realise is credit. When you sold credit, it's actually a product, and therefore it's a fault accounting what they call the GDP. So basically, it's the wrong sort of GDP. So you create what you call credit bubbles. You had it in 2008 and everything else. So, but it creates a natural shortage because in order to produce, if your expenses are that high, then you can't produce these things. And it's a post-industrial society we actually live in. That's what we actually live in. And it's you call it more of a financial capitalism. That's the proper name for it. So it creates a lot of problems, and you've got a lot of problems to come. But that's just my view.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. It's creating problems.
It's creating bubbles, speculation
it's not
bubbles.
solving, no.
The money's being directed in the wrong channels. It should be directed towards production and everything else.
Yeah.
But it's being directed to speculation. So what you're actually getting is you're getting price increases in stocks and shares and real estate and everything else. And it's not being used for productive capacities like farming or house building or things of that nature.
Yeah.
So in one sense you're getting an increase in prices in one thing due to too much credit being directed that way, and because you can't manufacture and everything else, because the cost of manufacturing is that increased from it, you get a natural shortage.
Real.
And this is what's happened. This is why you're getting a price hike in food prices and everything else.
Yeah.
Because the economy is being run not efficiently. It's inefficient.
Definitely.
It's so inefficient that this is what's
All
actually
of it.
happening.
All of it.
Yeah.
Whatever they do, they fail.
Well, it's designed to do
Yeah,
that.
I think that it's deliberate.
It's designed. It's
Nobody can get it wrong that many times.
Well, it's designed so 10% of the people have all the wealth and
Yeah.
99% have nothing. So that's how it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a rich man's world. Yeah.
Well, they always say somebody's credit is somebody else's asset.
I'm
And
afraid.
unfortunately, when you credit up to eyeballs, the 99% of credit's up to eyeballs, and the 10% have all the wealth.
Yeah. It's fact, innit? It's fact, innit?
Yeah.
Philanthropy. It don't exist. Oh, Bill Gates is a philanthropist. He gives it away. No, he don't. He makes money. You know, all them foundations, they're all garbage. They're all tax havens. Because they don't have to pay any tax.
Yeah, well,
They've got that wage trust, haven't they?
well,
So I'll open a foundation. I'll have all my money paid in there because we don't pay any tax.
well, this,
You don't have to go to Panama, the islands anymore, you know what I mean? Liechtenstein and Luxembourg, you don't have to go there anymore, do you? You know, it's just on a foundation. That's how you do it.
Well, like I said to you, to me, I just see it as corruption in politics.
Clinton
because,
Foundation.
It's corruption in politics. I mean, at the end of the day, when you're lobbyist groups, you're making vast sums of money.
Yeah.
Whether you're financial sector, pharmaceutical sector, or whatever sector, military sector, then obviously you're gonna have influence in legislation.
Well, just that.
So that's it.
Which is it?
Yeah.
Hey, wow, man, it's 25 minutes. You know,
Yeah.
it's about roughly the best time to keep these videos too, because you can go too long. And
Is it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Which is better off episode 1,
Yes.
150 odd, wow. But people we know shared it.
Yes.
The second one, we didn't have the same people sharing it. They already shared the first one.
Yeah.
Well, what we're going to try and do is encourage them, right, to subscribe, like and share. And that's all we can do in it, step by step, and see how it grows.
Yes.
Right, so it's coming to end. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to let you, as I do, let you have the final words, your final words on today.
Well, my final words is this: you can come out from behind the sofa now. The bailiffs have gone.
Right, however you got it, so be it. God bless you all. Bye now.
Bye.
See you again soon. He said, see you again soon. Okay.
Testing, 1, 2, testing.
Bye.